Have you ever heard of a man who owned nothing, yet online he appeared to have everything? This is the story of Kayo. Every weekend, he'd borrow his wealthy friend Damie's cars. A sleek Mercedes-Benz, a powerful Range Rover, anything that screamed success. He'd put on Damie's designer clothes, pose in front of Damie's mansion, and snap photos that told a story of a life he wasn't living. On social media, he was a king. One afternoon, Dami asked Kayo a favor: deliver a package using his Mercedes. For Kayo, this was a golden opportunity. That car was his favorite lie, the key to the world he pretended to inhabit. He drove to a high-end office building, and that's where he met her, Amara. She was the picture of elegance and confidence, a woman who clearly wanted for nothing. When she saw Kayo step out of the Mercedes, dressed so sharply and speaking with such self-assurance, she saw a successful businessman. Their first conversation flowed so easily it felt like fate. That one meeting blossomed into phone calls, then dinners, and soon, something much deeper. Throughout it all, Kayo never corrected her assumptions. He let her believe he was the man she first saw, the man with the mansion and the luxury cars. He fed her the fantasy, and she fell in love with it. But as their relationship deepened, so did Kayo's fear. He knew this beautiful illusion couldn't last forever. The truth was a ticking time bomb. Desperate to keep Amara and the life she represented, Kayo went to a place where men seek power that isn't theirs to claim. Late one night, he found himself in the dimly lit hut of a witch doctor. Surrounded by flickering candles and strange herbs, the old man handed him a simple, unassuming ring. This will keep her heart tied to yours, the witch doctor promised, his voice a low whisper. But remember, forced love always demands a payment. Kayo didn't hesitate for a second. The price didn't matter. Not long after, he proposed. With the city lights twinkling below them, he slipped that very ring onto Amara's finger. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she said yes. There was a celebration, champagne, and congratulations from friends. But amidst all the excitement, one crucial detail was missing. No one ever talked about a wedding date. Soon, Kayo moved into Amara's beautiful home, and that's when things began to change. The fancy cars disappeared. The designer clothes were replaced with simple outfits. He would stay home all day, while Amara went out every morning to her high-powered job. She paid for everything: the rent on their luxury apartment, the gourmet food they ate, the lavish vacations they took. She was supporting them both, single-handedly. 5 years went by like this, 5 years of being engaged, but with no wedding in sight. Whenever Amara would gently bring up setting a date, Kayo always had an excuse ready. The timing just isn't right, my love. Or let's just wait a little longer until things are perfect. And somehow, Amara always agreed. She never questioned why she, a successful and independent woman, was carrying the entire weight of their relationship. It was as if her own judgment had been clouded. But there was someone who saw things clearly: Jaden, Amara's childhood friend. He had known her long before success and love had confused her. Jaden had grown up with his grandfather, a respected traditional healer, a true witch doctor. From a young age, he had seen his grandfather prepare charms and rings, some for good, some for control. And from the moment he met Kayo, Jaden felt that something was deeply wrong with his friend's relationship. One sunny afternoon, he invited Amara out for ice cream, just like they used to do as kids. As they talked and laughed, he carefully brought up Kayo. "So, 5 years engaged, huh?" he asked casually. "Still no wedding date?" Amara laughed it off, but the sound was thin, fragile. Jaden's gaze drifted down to her hand, to the ring that never left her finger. "Can I see it?" he asked gently. She hesitated for a moment, a flicker of confusion in her eyes, before sliding it off and handing it to him. The instant the metal touched Jaden's skin, his friendly expression vanished. A shadow passed over his face. "Amara," he said, his voice quiet and serious, "this ring, it's not ordinary." She started to protest, to defend Kayo, but Jaden was already stepping away, dialing his grandfather. He explained everything. The 5-year engagement, Kayo's sudden change, and Amara's strange passivity. The old man on the other end of the line didn't need long to understand. "It is charmed," his grandfather confirmed, his voice firm. "She must remove it immediately." With his grandfather's words echoing in his ears, Jaden went back to Amara. He told her everything. Her hands were shaking as she reached for the ring. As her fingers closed around it and pulled it from her hand, a sharp, blinding pain shot through her head. She cried out, clutching her temples as a flood of memories washed over her 5 years of sacrifices, of exhaustion, of flimsy excuses, and her own baffling silence. It was like waking from a long, confusing dream. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the pain stopped. Amara stood perfectly still, breathing heavily. Her eyes were wide open, and for the first time in years, they were completely clear. The fog had lifted. She saw the truth. That night, she went home. When Kayo greeted her at the door, she looked at him as if seeing a stranger. "You need to leave," she said. There was no argument. There was no need for a long explanation. The spell was broken, and with it, the power he held over her. Kayo packed his few belongings and walked out of her life as quietly as he had entered it. Amara turned to Jaden, tears finally falling, but this time they were tears of gratitude. He had saved her not from Kayo, but from herself, from the spell that had stolen her will. Later that night, alone in her room, she stared at the ring sitting on her nightstand. It looked so small, so ordinary, powerless and empty. She pushed it into a drawer and never looked at it again. This story holds a powerful lesson. An engagement ring without a wedding date is not a promise of a future. It can become a contract of slavery. It's paid for with your time, your energy, and years of your life that you can never get back. To every person out there, remember this: love should move forward. If you find yourself waiting endlessly without a clear path forward, ask why. And if there's no progress, find the courage to walk away. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe, share this video with your friends, leave a comment, and like this video. Your support helps us create more stories just like this one. See you in the next video.